A lot of bands overplay their hometown because it's easy to book, they know people, and they want to play live, but it just doesn't do them any favors. And that's a really tricky place to be in. I wanted to talk real fast about not burning out your local scene. This is a tricky one because I think a lot of bands end up playing too much in their local scene, and then nobody cares because if you're playing your hometown 6 times a year, who's really going to come bother to see that all 6 times outside of your girlfriend, right? And this is the problem. And I think a lot of bands overplay their hometown because it's easy to book, they know people, and they want to play live, but it just doesn't do them any favors. And that's a really tricky place to be in. At the end of the day, though, you really shouldn't be playing your hometown more than 3 to 4 times a year, which sucks to hear, I know, but that's just sort of how it is. Furthermore, you want to figure out markets in your area you can actually be playing because you want regional growth to start. Going on a national tour early on is a poor idea, but if you know someone in a similar band in the next town over, book them in your town and then ask them to reciprocate the favor. And they won't always do that. You have to put in way more than you get back a lot of the time. But then eventually someone will do that and you'll grow. If you're trying to find bands to collaborate with in a different town, just search town name, your genre. So like if I was looking for a Philadelphia hardcore band who I wanted to book in New York so that they would maybe book me, I would put hashtag Philly hardcore and see what came up. You know, or hashtag, I mean, New York hardcore is obviously tricky, but like something like that. Hashtag New York thrash. See if anything comes up, right? Or local music and just look through the bands and start to talk to people. People want to be reached out to. Everyone wants to talk to everyone else. Like that's kind of the thing. So do that because at the end of the day, you're going to burn out your local scene. However, when you are playing local shows, one thing my friends in Kings Destroy do really well is they have a value add to whatever show they're playing, right? So this can be anything from their last show they had a friend who was involved in the pedal community come and had like a whole like pedal stand and like there was a guitar you could play or you could try all the pedals and you know, and that's cool because that's just like a cool like additional like pedal showcase. Again, value add for their local headliner. Another time they had a local brewer come in and offer like an exclusive first taste of a beer or something, right? And again, you're adding value beyond, they realize that people have seen them before. So how do you get that? How do you give that extra 10%? Like, yes, they're a great band. Yes, they bring a lot to the table as a band. But how do you make that next thing happen? And that's what's tricky, I think, is moving the needle, but realizing you have to have that value add. But that value add is part of the creativity and part of the fun. And it's not going to detract from your show. People still are there because they want to see your show. But if you get a local artist who did your album art to come in and present some of their work, like on the side of the venue, like that just makes it look cool. That, people are going to look at that between bands. Nobody's going to look at that during your band unless your band is boring live, in which case you probably don't draw that much anyway. So understand that if you're trying to push your band locally, don't overplay, have a value add, and of course, be really fucking good so it's worth it to people to see you 10, 15, 20 times.